two teams making their way out. Let's get a quick thought from the man with me here in the commentary position, who's been licking his lips in anticipation of this one, Roshan Rai. Can't wait for this one, Roshan.
An absolute privilege to be here to cover this game, and I'm really looking forward to this. A massive game. Both these sides know exactly what's at stake here. For Malaysia, it's simple, isn't it? They have to win. For Indonesia, they can take fewer risks. They can see how it goes. They can play on the counter-attack a little bit. And we saw against Vietnam, they know how to keep a clean sheet. They know how to be disciplined. They know how to be aggressive. They know how to fight this Indonesian side. And it's such an exciting young team with a big, bright future ahead of them. But this is a massive test. This is where they can take that next step in terms of the development, seeing out the result, getting the result that takes them through into the AFF Suzuki Cup semi-final. What an exciting 90 minutes plus of football we're going to have here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is in stark contrast to the match we had yesterday, where Singapore and Thailand were already through to the semi-final, so a little bit less in it. And there were selection issues as well for Thailand. And when we look at the team selection here today, both these teams certainly mean business.
The national anthem of Malaysia.
It may only be 20% full here at the stadium, but listen to that noise. These are some of the most fanatical supporters you will find in the region. And let's look at the starting lineup for Malaysia. They make 4 changes to the side that were convincingly beaten by Vietnam. The one to look out for, the number 2 there, Dion Cools, flew in from Europe just 4 days ago. He goes straight into the lineup. Junior Elstal is also restored to the starting lineup. Koglaswaran Raj is also in as is Faisal Halim, who had that COVID-19 problem at the start of this campaign. It is a new centre-back pairing, remember, because Aidil Zafwan had a hamstring problem. He hobbled off in the game. So did Shaul Saad. He's on the bench. So Mahagiri has to settle for a place on the bench, as does Lukman Hakim. And on the bench, well, this is the biggest bench we've seen actually for Malaysia so far in this tournament. Because of COVID-19 and players not being available at the time, they finally have a full complement. The referee today from Bahrain, as is his first assistant, Amar Ibrahim Hassan. And there are the two skippers. Badro Bakhtiar taking the armband today from Aidil. For Indonesia, they make just the one change to the side that had that valiant point against Vietnam, the goalless draw in that one. And in comes Ramai Rumakiek, the youngster, drafted in for this absolutely massive game. And clearly it would appear that Shin Tae-yong is fairly happy with what he's seen. He's gone for a pretty attacking formation here, a 4-4-2. And the man who misses out is Rizky Ramadani. But they are going with a 4-4-2 today. Irianto, who normally sits in front of the back four, is moving into the middle of the park today with Ricky Kambuaya. And yes, there you go, Rizky Ridho Ramadani, who was actually one of the most impressive players in that match against Vietnam. He has to settle for a place on the bench. There's also there on the bench Elkan Baggett, who was in quarantine, wasn't he, until yesterday for a COVID-19 incident on his plane, but he would be available later on in this competition. There is still no sign of Egy Maulana, who there were varying reports about whether he would be available for this one. Some mind games playing by Shin Tae-yong earlier in the picture. Tan Cheng Ho said, let's not get the media into our heads. Let's focus on the game instead. How do you see this one playing out, Roshan? Because Malaysia have to go for it from the off.
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. This Malaysian side, they have to go for it, but at the same time, it's not going to be a situation where you want to take too many risks too early on and open yourselves up to opportunities to lose out on the counter-attack, and give Indonesia those opportunities in those counter-attacking situations, because there's plenty of pace in this side. You look at Irfan Jaya and Ramai Rumakiek in those wider positions. They have got pace to burn. Witan Sulaiman just playing in just behind Ezra Walian in these phases out of possession. So it's almost like they set up in this 4-2-3-1 off the ball, and perhaps when they are in possession it'll be a 4-4-2 somewhat, with Witan Sulaiman given that license just to drop off in spaces in behind this Malaysian midfield. It's going to be so important for Badrol, who's shielding that defense, the number 8, the veteran in there, to make sure he's keeping track of the spaces that Witan Sulaiman is looking to go and try and push himself into, because he could be a player that causes lots and lots of issues for this Malaysian side if he's given space to turn in behind that Malaysian midfield.
How impressed were you with the discipline shown by Indonesia? As we come back to that in a minute, here's Ezra Walian. Because they changed things up, didn't they? And they largely kept Vietnam quiet.
Yeah, and that was really good to see. You know, I think they understood what they were up against. So there's a humility there. There was respect for what Vietnam are capable of. But, you know, there wasn't any fear from Indonesia. They knew that, you know, we're not perhaps at that level yet, as the cross comes in. Bit of a shaky moment early on for Junior Elstal.
Yeah, he's just back in the lineup. Remember, he started the very first game against Cambodia and has been restored to the starting lineup today as that comes flashing across the goal. And this man, Pratama, remember, he was injured in this first game. He's replaced by Edo Febriansha, but he's come back in and it's been excellent.
Yeah, wonderful driving run. The 19-year-old, they've got 2 young players on that left-hand side. Incredible talent coming through this Indonesian squad. It's close, isn't he?
Not far away at all. It's a great start to this game. Listen to that noise. Absolutely fantastic. And Roshan, over the years, Malaysia, Indonesia always gets the pulses racing, doesn't it?
Wonderful rivalry these two sides have, and the stakes are high here, you know, just adds to the occasion. And what I love about Malaysian and Indonesian fans that have come out, and even the Vietnamese fans who have come out in support of their sides, as they've made themselves heard. You know, they've created a wonderful atmosphere. It's not like they just come in to sit down and watch a game of football. They've come in to participate and be a part of the football match. So it's been incredible, and I really, really salute the fans that have come out to support their sides.
Yeah, they're here to be part of the spectacle, aren't they? And that's the great thing. As they come forward here with Irfan, Indonesia out wide to Ezra Walian. They'll get a corner of Shami Safari.
Yeah, I think just very quickly go back to the display that they put up against Vietnam. Very different. You know, it was more of a defensive side to Indonesia, and we're used to seeing them, as you see Ezra Walian breaking free down this right-hand side. That cross coming off Shami Safari. We were used to seeing Indonesia in the first two matches in this competition be very aggressive, very attacking, very direct, look to try and get the ball forward quickly. But against Vietnam, we saw a different side to them. Defensively aggressive, sitting deep, being compact, and fighting all the way towards that point. Good flexibility that a young team has shown, and discipline in that game.
Yeah, I think that was something that really endeared them to a lot of fans. And can't find his safe hands. He's been very good in those sort of situations. Well, I've said that. He completely fumbled it. And he's given away a corner here.
Yeah, what's happened there? I mean, I took my eye off the ball because I was looking upfield. Well, he catches it there and then just lets it slip.
Roshan, just as well he was not in front of the goal.
That's right, that's right. Fortunately for him. Well, nerves in this Malaysian defense. And the thing is, coming into this game, everyone was saying Malaysia the more experienced side and should have that experience, but doesn't seem to be the case very early on anyway.
Will they profit from this? Alfiandra Dewanga sends that well over. Now remember, of course, Indonesia are handicapped coming into this tournament. They're only allowed to pick 2 players from any one club in their league because it is ongoing at the moment. This is something that they experienced in 2016, by the way, in which they went all the way to the final, despite that so-called handicap. But they have been pretty good value up till now. Here is Junior Elstal, restored to the back line. Of course, he was playing defensive midfielder in the first game. Kogniswaran Raj, his first start in this tournament. Now Shafiq, out wide to Arif. Arif's done well here. Twisting in and out, Asnawi.
Yeah, he's the next big star of Malaysian football, isn't he? Arif Aiman, you can see the quality that he has and how dangerous he can be running at defenders. And twisted and turned. Asnawi inside out here. Wonderful footwork. Credit to Asnawi for recovering, getting the ball out for a corner at least.
He almost didn't make the squad, Roshan. Arif Aiman. He was picked very, very late, wasn't he? Coach felt he had too much football in him. He's still a young man. Trying to get the shots away. It's a good response here from Malaysia. Now, Badru Bakhtiar's down, touching his nose, it looks like.
Now, what's interesting to me is we've had a couple of errors early on at being made by experienced players. Just see another look at this opportunity as Fakhruddin panics a little bit, just tries to make sure he gets it away out of play. Anywhere will do.
It was Ezra Walian, wasn't it, who fell on, or elbow perhaps even, on Badru Bakhtiar. He's just going off for some treatment.
And I don't think there was any intent in that.
And that was arrowing in, isn't it, to the near post. Look at the pace of Rumakek, look at that! He has stormed that run, and the pressure he was putting on Dion Cools, the new man in, of course, and Rizal Ghazali. Wonderful pace.
Yeah, excellent work by Ramai Rumakek. Wonderful acceleration there to put the pressure on Rizal.
Well, that's a poor ball from Karufami. Well, no foul given by the referee. The pace of this game, the intensity in these first 8 minutes, brilliant. Julia Elstar with an important couple of challenges there for Malaysia. You cannot take your eyes off this at the moment. Arif Ayman, who's got pace to burn. Devanga comes across after Devanga, who was superb, man of the match in that game against Vietnam.
This is absolutely living up to the pre-game hype. The tempo, the intensity is incredible. Challenges flying in. Nobody wanting to lose possession of the ball, even if they don't have it. Want to get it back straight away. You saw Junior Elstal come in with a couple of crunching challenges.
This is what the AFF Suzuki Cup's all about. It really is. Shadi Safari now. Kogliswaran Raj. Little triangles here. We can tell you there is already a goal in the other game. Vietnam have made it 1-0. Win Tien Lin. And this is how it looks. So, Indonesia, no. They need to get, well, actually, as it stands right now, they're through. To be absolutely safe, of course. They know that Malaysians will come at them. And that is an early breakthrough for the Vietnamese. Remember, they've got a few goals tonight, just in case. There's the man who has just joined the side tonight, Faisal Halim, who was out with COVID, and Tan Cheng Ho, the Malaysian coach, had said having him will just add more bite in that midfield and attack. He's got Akia on the bench as well. Later on, should he need. Another one he was very happy to have back. 2 Indonesians are down. Ricky Kambuai is one. Kognis Warren is also down at the moment. And is there going to be a problem? Arianto, Rahmat Arianto is another one.
And a second ball again, it's physicality. Ricky Kambuaya going into a challenge with Kogileswaran. Like, I think it's one of those both players have got to go for that. It's a 50-50 challenge.
Well, we know that that game last night, Roshan, was kind of marred a bit, wasn't it? 2 fairly significant injuries in the first 10-15 minutes. Kind of took the sting out of things, didn't it? The game was very stop-start.
Yeah, it was, and that can disrupt the rhythm of matches, obviously, but hasn't seemed to be much of a disruption here.
Badru Bakhtiar with this free kick for Malaysia. Alfreda Devanga got the final touch on that. Corner for Malaysia. Dion Cools come in from Midtjylland in the Danish league. I tell you what, he's played Champions League football, Russian, in terms of there are more and more players now, of course, applying their trade overseas. That has to be right up there, isn't he? The quality.
The incredible quality and experience as well. A big boost to Malaysia, especially in those defensive positions, and the expectation here with Sharul Saad and Aidil Zafwan picking up injuries in that game against Vietnam. It was always the case that Dion Cools would come in a big post in central defence.
Managed to get that clear. Now this is where they can be very dangerous. That pass a little too heavy. He's still going. Irfan, another very quick player. Witan Sulaiman, was he brought down there by Dion Cools? Shin Tae-yong is having a real go at the fourth official.
Yeah, you can see exactly what he's complaining about. He's saying there was a tug. There was a tug there from Dion Cools on Witan Sulaiman. The game is so open at the moment, and it's incredible. I mean, listen, I think there was some doubt about whether Indonesia would come out and really attack this Malaysian side. We're seeing that they are. You know, it's not a case of them just sitting back.
You know what, Shin Tae-yong addressed that, didn't he, as that force of Kogiswaran Raj. Oh, he's got the shot in! What a goal that is! Kogiswaran Raj has opened the scoring for Malaysia out of the blue.
That's a superb finish from Kogiswaran. What a start for Malaysia here. A quick throw and an intelligent run in behind from Shafiq Ahmad that really starts it off. It's a poor clearance, you could say. And perhaps if you want to be hypercritical here, you can say it is slow to close down that shot from range, Rahmat Irianto. But that is pure quality. Wonderful camera angle on that replay. Kogiswaran, take a bow. What a finish.
Well, he had a superb celebration for his first ever international goal just a few days ago, and look at that one. His second of this tournament. And it's got the Malaysian fans really celebrating in the stands. And there was a goal coming, just felt it. The way this has opened up, and it could be another chance here, Ezra Walian. Well, they just seem to switch off a little bit there, Malaysia. Always a bit vulnerable, aren't you, after you score?
Yeah, wonderful response from Indonesia. Again, it's Wetan Sulaiman dropping into these areas. It's what I spoke about at the start of this match. They're going to have to keep an eye on him because he's got that freedom to just drop in behind Malaysia's midfield. It's in those areas.
This time, he does grab hold of the ball and gets to distribute it quickly. Karo Fami, who was part of the 2010 side, the only player left that has won the AFF Cup. Look at Arif Aiman. He's giving a bit of a torrid time, isn't he? Punch clear by Nadio. It's still alive, here's Safawi. Haven't said his name yet in this match. And he's been one of the outstanding players.
Yeah, listen, Fakhruddin, as the most experienced defender in that back line, has got to have a word with his younger teammates here. You got a 19-year-old at left back. You got a 20-year-old in Alfie Andra alongside him. He's got to be talking to them, making sure they're organized. And guys, yes, don't get carried away. We want to go and attack. We need to get the goal now. As we see with this table here, Malaysia having taken the lead, moving up to second in the standings in Group B. That means Malaysia are going through as it stands. Indonesia are the ones who need to chase this, but we don't want to let the game, and I'm speaking from Fakhruddin's point of view, him saying we don't want to let the game run away from us. There's plenty of time still. Settle down, let's make sure.
Remember how calm they were and how disciplined they were, Roshan, against Vietnam.
Yeah.
Very, very different sort of game, of course. As they come forward here, Witten, just a bit of a heavy touch from him. Look at that. Ramai went in hard. It's a booking. Rizal Ghazali has rolled around a bit there. It did look a pretty late challenge.
Yeah, you'd think. It was well late into that one. That is a nasty one. And he's in a world of pain here, Rizal. And I'm wondering if he, you know, because it's a standing leg, and you looked at the impact, and you looked at the angle in which Ruma came smashing into him. There's always a concern there with the knee ligaments. And Tan Cheng Ho in his standard outfit, his trademark white shirt, black pants, folded up sleeves.
Had a good chat with him.
Oh, have a look at this goal again. I mean, Kogiswaran, you know, his anticipation of where the ball could potentially drop for him to have a shot at goal, but still the technique to execute from range like that. And he doesn't drive through it, you know, he kind of actually side foots it, wraps his foot around the ball, and gets enough of that curve to beat Nadeo, guiding it towards the far post.
Also, you saw Irfan's clearance there. He wasn't under any particular pressure, was he? When he passed that ball, when he tried to clear it, it went into the path of Koglaswaran Raj. Just seemed a little panicky in the build up to that goal. Oh, look at that. A little tug down. Irfan, the referee, has let that play on. Looked like Shami just tugged on Irfan, but he's got so much pace about him.
Yeah, I tell you what that tug on Irfan just did. He slowed it down a little bit, forced him wider, so running directly in behind that defense, and gave Badrol an opportunity to come across and help out Shami.
Oh, he's done well here, Ramai. Anywhere away from goal is fine for Malaysia. Dion Cools talking to his defence there.
He's a player I really like, that man in your shot right there, Ricky Ricardo Cambuaya. Give him his full name.
So good, they named him twice, Roshan.
He's got wonderful energy from midfield. And quality on the ball as well.
Now, this is a weapon they used a couple times, didn't they, Partama? Was there a foul? No one's really asking for it on Ramai.
Well,
two men down, by the way. Malaysia are continuing. Look at Shin Tae-yong is going right up to the fourth official.
Wow, you know, I think he's got a case here. You know, I think I can completely understand why he's going ballistic at the fourth official and why his coaching staff have stepped up off the bench in support of him. Because I looked at it and I thought, wow, take your pick, because the first one, Badrol there is contact. I think it's Ramai Rumakiak initially, and then the second one, definitely as he falls over. Just have a look here, Rumakiak. Badrol leaves a leg in. There's contact there. And then this one from Pratama. I mean, if he's not going to give the first one, which would have been a penalty, the second one is a definite foul for me.
Faisal Halim there with that second foul, as Roshan mentioned, but there was definitely a shout, wasn't there, for a penalty. We had a penalty in that particular box that was contentious as well. Thailand beating the Philippines 2-1. That led to the second goal.
Well, just have a look at this again, and yeah, it's an air shot the first time, but look, Badrol's late with that challenge. It should have been a penalty the first time, and the referee's right there for the second one. I can't believe he's not given anything.
Well, it's good to see Ramai is fine, but there was a shout, and you can completely understand Shin Tae-yong's reaction.
Yeah, and all he's asking is why. He's asking why. Give me a reason why. Why didn't you give that? What's happening?
Like a little bit more than why, though. But
well,
yes,
I can't really say more than the why, can I?
That's true.
On air. I'll let you know exactly what he said at halftime.
You can tell me at halftime what you thought of that.
Yeah. Once we've got the mics off.
60% or so possession with Malaysia. Shin Tae-yong is he's not a quiet man. It was very interesting to watch him and Park Hang-seo the other day. It was very entertaining, the two of them. They were having a real go at each other, the two Koreans.
Yeah, no issues with the language as well.
And there's Korean officials that day. As we see Faisal Halim come forward. Alfredo Dewanga clears. Junior Elster, will he be under a bit of pressure here? Shani Safari gets it away up to Koglaswaran Raj. It's just a little frustration coursing through this Indonesian team that things are not going their way.
Yes. Well, perhaps they can just afford to slow it down a little bit, be a bit more patient in certain situations. This is the danger man for Malaysia. That's really good defending by us now. We can hang on to the ball here.
It's interesting, isn't it, Roshan?
Done very well.
So much of so much of the best stuff, excuse me, from Malaysia's come down the left-hand side today. And we've barely mentioned Safawi tonight.
Yeah, and you know, with Safawi as well, what's interesting for me is he's one of the leading scorers in the competition. Joint top scorer, I think, with 4 goals. But he hasn't had the best of seasons domestically.
Correct.
He didn't have the best of seasons domestically. It was Arif Aiman who stole the show in Malaysia on the domestic front this season.
Lovely ball up towards Irfan. Looking up for targets. Irfan to the top of the box. Ramai, I should say. Just couldn't get the ball from his feet. That's given away to Rahmat Irianto. Witan Sulaiman. Sting taken out of that shot. I love the fact we're midway through this first half and the intensity has not dropped.
I've just kept quiet there. I was taking a moment to catch a breath.
It is one of those games, isn't it? Reminder, in that other game, at the moment, it is 1-0 to Vietnam. They were overwhelming favourites for that one anyway. Good perseverance by Kogeshwaran Raj. Look at the key man, Safawi. Is that going to be a penalty? Big prize there as well. Not given.
Oh, again, that's another close one. He was in behind. Wonderful work by Safawi. Great acceleration, showing his power and pace to get in behind there. Arms were up in his back from Alfiandra. Oh, I tell you what.
Are you a fan of this whole evening out theory?
They even themselves out.
Yeah. That doesn't help with the fans, does it? They just want to get what's right. They want to get the penalty, don't they? Flag stays down. Still alive here. And there's another dangerous moment there for Malaysia.
You know what, I'll tell you what, if the referee, it's probably playing on his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't give a penalty or even a free kick to Indonesia early on. I think if he had given a penalty there, and we've seen them given in those situations, you could argue perhaps Safawi goes down a little bit too easily, just feels a bit of an arm. But if you've got your arm up there, you're pushing a player in the back, the referee's well within his rights to give it as a penalty, but there would have been absolute pandemonium.
Look at that, another long throw from Pratama. Here's Irfan. Lofted into the box. Ezra Walian got a little bit of contact on it. And they get it clear through Dion Cools. Oh, lovely turn from Pratama. Still Pratama. Well over in the end.
His throw-ins are phenomenal.
He only used it a couple times in the last few matches. And it just creates problems, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could turn away from Kogileswaran here. Pratama. It's good energy, really good energy in Indonesia's play early on. Yeah, Safawi driving past Alfiandra, and again, look. Is that one of the ball boys actually appealing for a Malaysian penalty?
Certainly made
There's
his feelings
a ball boy
known.
there, acting as one of the 5th or 6th officials that they've got these days if they don't have VAR.
That's what he thought about the decision.
Gripping contest. Even the ball boys are getting involved.
Oh, there is a bit of shaky defending. Shafiq's done well. Safawi's come onto this. Oh, Arif, excuse me. Arif again. Voted MVP this season in the Malaysian League. Best striker as well, most promising player. And he was still not picked for the Malaysian side originally.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Malaysian squad, when the selection was announced, there were a few question marks. There were a few discussions on social media amongst the Malaysian fans for why certain players were left out. But, and I spoke to Junior Elstal recently and asked him what that was like, and he said, you know, it's an opportunity for the team to get together and show our doubters that we can do this for the country. We can progress. And if they do, they'll shut a lot of their critics up.
Absolutely.
And that can always give you that motivation, be that driving force for you to achieve something. Good play from Arif Aiman. Wonderful awareness of the situation there. Quick touch on away, inviting the challenge.
I think they've taken pains, Roshan, to at least have the show of unity in the Malaysian side. There's been a lot of speculation as to problems within the squad, and of course it doesn't help when a player reacts and throws a bottle into the ground and then another one makes a comment afterwards. But Tan Cheng Ho, he says he's only interested in picking the best players, the players that suit what he wants to do. You respect that. And similarly, Shin Tae-yong was asked why not bringing Ilya Spasojevic, who's got more goals than all the 4 strikers he's got in the current squad. He says he doesn't fit my system.
Yeah. Well, to touch on your first point about Tan Cheng Ho and the Malaysian squad, you know, there are always things in football that we know happen behind the scenes that we can't necessarily address in the public space, in the public sphere. But he's selected a side that he feels can do the job, and it's up to the players to then respond to that. And there have been so many issues that they've come in here. They've been criticized for only selecting, what was it, 24 players?
Yes.
And then they were struck with a few COVID
situations.
Yeah. They had injury concerns.
I can tell you, as we saw what looked to be a foul on Ramai, that Vietnam have got a second goal. Now the referee gives a free kick to Indonesia for the foul on Pratama by Koguswan Raj, and yeah, Vietnam looking pretty good. It's Tien Lin with his second of the match.
And as for Shin Tae-yong, I think when you're a coach that's coming, first of all, they've done an incredible job getting a manager, a head coach like Shin Tae-yong to come in. Incredible experience. As Tan Cheng Ho just directs traffic a little bit. He wants Malaysia to set themselves up a little bit higher here in this throw-in situation, try and force a turnover so they can transition quickly. A guy who's won the AFC Champions League, someone who's been a head coach at the World Cup, has beaten Germany. And, you know, he's selected a young squad. And when you select a young team, they're kind of easier to mold in sort of your image, in the way that you want to play.
Get them young, right?
Get them young and try and impart your values, your style, your tactics. And young players, they have a desire to improve and a desire to make a name for themselves, and they want to listen to you. Whereas sometimes with certain experienced players, they want to protect their position. They can be a little bit reluctant to sort of take too much on board, take on instructions. If they don't quite see how you can sort of help them improve, then they might just reject your suggestions in those situations. So ultimately, whatever squad you pick, it's up to you as the head coach.
Yeah.
If you can get the best out of them, if they can produce results, then you're seen as a success. And from what we're seeing from Indonesia at the moment, it looks good. I know they're losing this game. I know as it stands, they're headed out of the Suzuki Cup. Yeah. But this is an incredibly young squad.
Absolutely.
A very young side.
Here's Pratama again, and it is a useful weapon. Reminds me of a teammate of mine who used to do that, and it was also something that just players always seem to struggle with. Why is that? Why do they struggle with a throw-in that's... I guess it has to be flat and fast, right, to just cause those sort of issues?
Well, first of all, I want to find out who this teammate of yours is. What level this is you're talking about.
This is very, there's nothing like your level, Richard. Very, very social.
But yes.
He's actually watching this right now.
But yes, you look, the delivery is important. You're absolutely right to mention it's got to be flat.
Well, have a look.
It's like a driven pass. This is just incredible technique and distance, and well, obviously, again, as I say that,
not the best man. Here's Irfan.
I don't know if Laos technical director V. Sundramuthi is watching this, but
yes, he used to.
He used to love a long throw-in when he was in charge of the Singapore national side.
Madu Mohana used to do that quite a bit. And see, what's interesting is he's employing it more than he has in any other match we've seen so far, Pratama. But it's clearly something that they feel will make Malaysia susceptible Oh, look at that, right arrowed in at Ezra Walian.
It's incredible. You know who he kind of reminds me of is Alireza Berenvand, the Iranian goalkeeper, who basically launches it out with his arms. And he's got these.
Yeah.
I think he holds a world record for
Distance, is he?
Longest throw out.
10 points for Vietnam as it stands. Malaysia on 9, and that means those two sides would go through, and it would be Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand in the semi-finals. Malaysia, Thailand, of course, would be a repeat of the 2018 semi-finals, which ended in very, very dramatic circumstances when Hadisak missed a penalty right at the end of the match to put Thailand through. Taken quickly. Away by Cools. Around the line to Shafiq. Lots of discussions at the moment around the dugout there for Indonesia. Asnawi just trying to play that down the line, looking for Kambuaya. Moment for a breather. They're not going for a Pratama, are they? Not this time.
Got to give those arms a rest.
Exactly. He had about 3 in succession, didn't he? Well, that's given away by Rahmat Irianto.
He looks tiny as well.
Oh, what a ball that is. The keeper is caught out there. Oh, that is just wide. Nadio had advanced. Shafiq.
Big chance for Malaysia to extend the lead. And Nadio shouldn't have come off his line here. He shouldn't. Not the right decision for me, Nadio. You see where Shafiq is. It's wider away from the goal. It's too far out. He doesn't need to come out and leave his goal open and exposed. He had Fakhruddin there as well, covering that goal side angle. Fortunate for Indonesia that Shafiq just wasn't able to provide the finish in that situation.
A reminder, of course, that Nadio wasn't even supposed to be playing necessarily in this match because he only came in for the Vietnam game when Armando was hurt in the warm-up. Here come Indonesia again. Irfan. Good work by Faisal Halim. Is he through here? Witan Sulaiman. Squared it. Brilliant. Indonesia right back in there. Through Irfan.
Oh, they've deserved it. They've responded really well. And how big is that miss from Shafiq now? Indonesia have equalized. Wonderful move. Look at that, they're patient in possession. They pass it around, they wait for the right opportunity to arrive. Pick it up in midfield. He's onside. That's a wonderful run from Witan Sulaiman, looking right across that defensive line. He's aware of his position. He makes absolutely sure to keep himself onside. I mean, this pass and this leave from Rahmat. The first pass from Rahmat, that dummy from Ricardo Kambuaya. And then the finish in the end from Irfan Jaya. Look at how many players they had in those advanced positions.
It is amazing how noise has shifted from one side of the stadium to the other. And now it's the red half who are loving it. Nine minutes left, Roshan. I don't want this to end, I have to say.
Look, this
has been the best game for me so far.
Brilliant. Wonderful. I mean,
everything about it, right?
I know I'm being hyperbolic a little bit. Excuse me that. Forgive me for that, but I can't help myself. It's a credit to these two teams, the kind of football that they're playing at the moment. It's wonderful to watch, and the fans here have been just incredible as well.
Certainly played their part in what has been an absorbing contest, and this is the danger man. Ezra Walian, it was offside. We saw that a mile away, didn't we? We saw that about a second or two earlier.
Yeah, I had my imaginary flag up here in the commentary position already. I think the assistant referee.
So it's well done there, isn't it?
Well done from Junior. You know, he just leaves him. You know, it was coming in from into the stadium from the MRTC. Well,
we'll just come back to that because here comes Rama Rumakek. He still go. Oh dear. Now, what's surprising is he's not one of those speedy winger types that has no end product, because we saw him score a beautiful goal in the very first game.
Well, Rizal Ghazali, I mean, it just doesn't know how to deal with that pressure, because Ramai Rumakek has been so persistent and so quick. I mean, he gets his shot completely wrong. You can see he makes the wrong sort of connection on that. But he doesn't give you a moment to breathe. You want time on the ball, you're not going to have it when he's around.
Roshan, I'm a bit disappointed, I've got to say, in you. I'm still waiting for the hyperbole.
Which one? I've got like a library of them.
Well, more to come in a minute. Here's the corner. You were gonna. I think you were gonna talk about was it the match in general, the atmosphere?
Just the atmosphere around the stadium. You know, coming in, I was making my way in, and you had Malaysian fans and Indonesian fans outside the stadium, and you know, they were already singing and chanting outside, gathering. You know, in those situations, already creating that
sea of colour,
energy and that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and this is a game that in normal circumstances you have full house, and this is a game that absolutely deserves that. Okay, the situation as it is doesn't allow for it, but the fans that are here are making themselves heard.
Yeah, it was a great decision, wasn't it, to put this game here at the National Stadium.
Yeah.
Having said that, you've already mentioned it earlier, the Vietnamese fans are brilliant as well. The Thai fans as well have made their presence felt. We've had Singapore here, they've had good crowds come in. It's been a great, and you know, against the backdrop of a pandemic, I think people have also been absolutely pent up to watch this kind of football, Roshan.
It's been wonderful. The fact that people can come together and celebrate football together, and you know, there's not been any sort of issues.
Yeah. You
know, there's rivalry. I'll come back to it.
Squared again, away by Cools, but Junior Elstal tries to slide it away. Here's Pratama. Straight at the keeper, Karul Fahmi. Well, I just had to relook at our stats here, because Indonesia have had 11 shots. Malaysia have had 2.
Yeah, and I count the...
Well, this thing swings back and forth. As of now, Vietnam are through. Indonesia are second. Now remember, if Indonesia get another goal, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That equation changes again. Well, I'm sad to say there's 4.5 minutes left of this first half in a game that has absolutely lived up to its billing. Junior Elstal. Here's Shami Safari. Now Arif Ayman. Gone a little bit quiet, Arif. Irfan. He's been absolutely everywhere, hasn't he, Irfan?
I don't know what, they've all been everywhere.
That's true.
And in a good way. I mean, you know, it's not like they're running around like headless chickens. Look at that. I mean, Witan Sulaiman pressing there, trying to take the ball off Faisal. He gets a bit of help from Badrol. They're running non-stop here. Look at that. Ricky Kambuaya now leading the charge, leading the press.
Well, that really well. Ricky Kambuaya. Shin Tae-yong obviously felt that that was Indonesia throw-in. It's a bit calmer now. Oh, well, actually, as soon as I said that, what you're not seeing off camera is he just went a little berserk on.
I think he was shouting at Asnawi.
I think it was Asnawi, wasn't he? Targeting.
Wanted him to rip the ball out of the hands of the Malaysian player and get on with it.
Here comes Pratama. Still Pratama. He's ridden the challenge. Pratama. He's still going, Pratama. Can they finish this? Yes, they can! It's number 2 for Irfan and Indonesia.
Wonderful work again. Wonderful work. 19 years of age, Pratama. Look at this driving run. Straight through the heart of that Malaysian defense. Yes, they get a little bit fortunate, a couple of deflections going their way. But they've been at it. Since conceding, the response has been incredible. You know, we've been talking about mentality a lot. Yesterday we mentioned it with Singapore going a goal down to Thailand and then seemingly falling flat. We say, where was that mental response? We've seen it from Indonesia here, go a goal down. And they've said, okay, let's go again. We pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and we'll show you what kind of quality we've got.
Roshan, in the build-up to that goal, he's now got his third. Rizal Ghazali was just, it couldn't stop Pratama, could he? He's had a bit of a torrid time on that side, hasn't he?
It's so difficult for defenders at times when you've got confident players picking the ball up and just driving at you.
And I know you love a bit of cynicism, and you know where I'm going to go with this.
Oh, don't bring it up. Come on, we don't want to encourage that sort of play.
So that's a no, we shouldn't have?
Listen, the professional in me, or the ex-professional in me says definitely someone should have taken him down.
Yeah.
But it's not something I want to encourage because otherwise, you know, we don't see that beautiful side of the game.
Yeah, we wouldn't have seen that goal, absolutely. Yeah, is Irfan looking for a hat-trick in this game as he crosses for Ezra Walian. They are not done yet, the Indonesians. They want a goal or two more. And now on equal points with Vietnam, but ahead. We will get the statisticians on that one for you to show you how it stands.
I think the level on goal difference, if I'm not mistaken.
Which means that Indonesia go through having scored more. But listen, maths never our strong suit, Roshan. As we see the corner, deep one. Khairul Fahmi, and they can't clear their lines here. There looked to be a foul in the box. Fakhruddin with the foul.
Great delivery from the corner here as well. Onto Fakhruddin at the far post. Yeah, don't ask me about mathematics, Shazad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
just barely passed it.
Yeah, not one of my favorite subjects, I have to say.
O levels, and it's the reason why I'm sat here with you.
Yes. This is Ramai. Now Irfan. Witan. Indonesia also probably don't want things to end at the moment. The momentum that they've got.
Yeah, they've dominated this half. I mean, aside from Kogileswaran getting a wonderful goal and big chance for Shafiq Ahmad, which couldn't convert. It's really been Indonesia.
So from my rudimentary maths, they're both on +7. Here's Ezra Walian. Gets up, or tries to get up quickly. Goal difference is the same, but Indonesia have scored far more goals than Vietnam. So as of now, I make it that they are top of the group. Safawi is clutching his shoulder.
He looks to be in trouble here, Safawi. So Fiandra actually gets to the ball first. So Fawi falls over him.
Yeah, that looked not very pleasant, I have to say. And the referee has called time on this first half, but not only are Malaysia down, Roshan, but they could be missing their star player in the second half. Who knows?
Doesn't look good, does it, for Malaysia? I mean, Safawi has been a threat in counter-attacking situations when they've been able to play the ball into him for space to try and exploit him behind this Indonesian defense.
Well,
look at that team spirit. Look at that team spirit.
Absolutely brilliant. And